The Mirror's Curse. In the dimly lit attic of a ramshackle Victorian mansion, hidden beneath layers of dust and cobwebs, rested an ornate, full-length mirror. Its frame, crafted from dark, ancient wood, was adorned with intricate carvings of grotesque faces and twisted figures. The glass, once clear and pristine, now held a sinister, smoky quality that seemed to trap the souls of those who gazed into it. The mansion, known as Ravenscroft Manor, had a dark history. It had stood abandoned for decades, its halls echoing with whispers of tragedies long past. Local legends spoke of a cursed mirror within its walls, a mirror that had the power to reveal one's deepest fears and desires. Jenny, a curious and adventurous young woman, had recently moved into the town of Blackwood. Intrigued by the stories surrounding Ravenscroft Manor, she couldn't resist exploring the long-forgotten mansion on a chilly, overcast afternoon. Armed with a flashlight and her boundless curiosity, she ascended the creaking staircase that led to the attic. As she entered the attic, her flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows across the room. Her heart pounded in her chest as she approached the ornate mirror, drawn by an inexplicable force. The mirror's smoky surface seemed to swirl and writhe, as though it held a dark secret. Jenny hesitated for a moment, her reflection staring back at her with hollow eyes. She couldn't resist the allure any longer and reached out to touch the glass. As her fingers made contact, a shiver ran down her spine, and she felt an icy grip on her soul. In the mirror, her reflection began to change. Her once bright eyes darkened, and her face contorted with fear. She saw herself trapped in a nightmarish world, a world where her deepest fears manifested. It was a grotesque and terrifying vision of the future. Jenny tore her gaze away from the mirror, gasping for breath. The attic seemed to close in around her, the air thick with a palpable malevolence. She stumbled backward, escaping the attic in a frantic rush. As she descended the staircase, the house seemed to come alive. Whispers echoed through the halls, and ghostly apparitions flickered in her peripheral vision. She could feel the presence of something sinister, something that had been awakened by her touch. Outside, she leaned against the cold stone wall of the mansion, trying to steady her racing heart. She couldn't shake the feeling that the mirror held a malevolent power, one that sought to trap her in a nightmare of her own making. Over the following days, Jenny's life took a dark turn. Nightmares plagued her every night, vivid and horrifying visions of the mirror's cursed reality. She couldn't escape the feeling that the mirror was calling to her, pulling her back into its sinister world. Desperate for answers, Jenny began researching the history of Ravenscroft Manor. She discovered that the mirror had once belonged to a powerful and malevolent sorceress who had used it to torment her enemies. The mirror had been sealed away to prevent further harm. But now, it seemed, its dark magic had been reawakened. Determined to break the mirror's curse, Jenny sought the help of a local historian, Professor Samuel Hargrove. Together, they delved into the mansion's history, searching for clues on how to undo the mirror's malevolent magic. Their research led them to a hidden chamber deep within the mansion, a room filled with ancient books, scrolls, and arcane artifacts. Among them was a dusty tome that contained a ritual for banishing the mirror's curse. It was a dangerous and perilous undertaking, but Jenny was willing to risk it to free herself from the mirror's grasp. As the night fell, Jenny and Professor Hargrove gathered the necessary materials and began the ritual. The air grew heavy with anticipation as they chanted incantations and drew protective symbols. The mirror, seemingly aware of their intentions, fought back, unleashing a torrent of nightmarish visions. Jenny's deepest fears and regrets materialized before her eyes, threatening to overwhelm her. But she pushed forward, determined to break the mirror's hold on her soul. With a final incantation, the mirror's surface shattered, releasing a burst of dark energy that engulfed the room. The mansion trembled, as though relieved of a great burden. The curse had been broken. Jenny and Professor Hargrove emerged from the chamber, battered but victorious. The mirror lay in ruins, its malevolent power forever banished. Ravenscroft Manor seemed to sigh in relief. its haunted past finally put to rest. Jenny, forever changed by her encounter with the cursed mirror, knew that she had faced a darkness few could comprehend. As she walked away from the mansion, she couldn't help but glance back one last time. In the shattered remnants of the mirror, she saw a reflection of herself, a reflection no longer haunted by fear, but strengthened by courage and resilience.